Welcome back, guys. Wanted to talk to you about some of the conversations I've been having with some close friends and family, and kind of how it's shaping me to change my philosophical approach and why I probably am not going to be having kids. It's more and more seeming like a selfish decision, unfortunately. I mean, I know there's a lot of positives people like to say about having kids. And I just want to say this is not a judgment on anyone, okay? These are just kind of my lists that I was writing down, talking about, what, is the arguments on both sides, be it like antinatalists, ethicists, or any social critiques we have, and everybody's different. Everybody's situation is different. So don't think I'm talking about everything and everyone. I'm simply talking about my life, my expectations, kind of what I'm going through. Maybe it'll relate to some of you, maybe it won't. But hey, we're just here to talk and kind of go over some of these ideas, that, like I said, that I've been thinking about. So I mean, the decision usually benefits the parents, right? Who we not the unborn child, right? The child did not exist beforehand, and it can't consent to being born, right? In any situation. So the idea is like, do we try and fulfill the desires as parents, not necessarily the needs of children? Because what I kept coming back to, and my friend were describing when we kind of just unpacked the philosophical, went down the rabbit hole, and yeah, we kind of came to after just chatting about it in a really cathartic way. It's a lot of it is a selfish need. For instance, it's the parents wants to feel like good parents, so they want to have this, to kind of like fill their emotional needs, right? And how many times have I heard, my friends yelling in the background that, I can't wait to have kids so I could never be like you, or I'm never going to do this when I have kids. So it's, it starts off already, you want to give them the better life than you had, right? So, um, yeah, and there's more to that. I'm not just saying that. Like I said, I could slice this kit in many different ways, and it's I want a family, right? I want someone to love me back. I mean, that you should already be looking for that in your life. You shouldn't have a kid to have someone love you back. There's no guarantee they're going to love you back or take care of you. I want to feel purpose, right? We all have this yearning to have purpose and uh, have direction with our life. And some people think that, well, if I become a parent, that will the direction will show itself. I'll be on that direction. I want, right. It's like having a kid is going to make you somehow be a better entrepreneur, a better worker, a better friend. It's like just we always talk about this one. This one came back to as the human emotion of wanting to our lineage, right? Having our legacy continue, even though it's like, what do you care? We're all going to be gone in 50 years, right? Being worm food, or in heaven, or in purgatory, or reincarnated, whatever you believe. That's your right. But yeah, like I said, it's this my lineage, my legacy, my family. These are all self-centered desires. Sorry, I hate to break it to you. Not trying to be the bad guy. Just this perspective, that we were talking about. It's like, wow, this is proves even more how selfish we are. Because again, like I said, the legacy. People want the genetic line to continue, which drives, the reproduction, gives the hormones, the biological and ego-based. Oh, I want my bloodline to go on and on and on, and X amount of generations. You're completely just, running in circles, trying to find your own identity preservation. It doesn't bring any well-being to this hypothetical person, this person who doesn't exist yet, right? I mean, this is all stuff that you're just coming up with. So, I mean, another part of it comes from our society, the culture we live in, that it's either our parents want grandchildren, our friends have kids, so we want to have play dates with our friends and continue to be adult friends and our kids be friends. So, um, many people do have kids, and there are a large amount of reasons, right? I mean, it's human nature. Everybody does what they're going to do, but you know, it's what we're supposed to do is what I always kind of heard, right? It's like, my family expects it. I need, I'll look incomplete, right? Without having kids in my life, like it's a measure of validation or success. A lot of these motivations, they really revolve around just the social approval, which we're dealing with every single day. When's the last time you went to a party and someone was like, the first question, usually it's the first 1 to 3 questions, but it's, so what do you do for work? As if that's supposed to determine your self-worth and value, the job that you do. That's all that matters, right, to some people. Yeah, like I said, social approval, just another way. Oh, what do you do for work? Ooh, you're a doctor? Oh, you work at McDonald's. Okay. Having children is also another way for people to cope with loneliness. I know it sounds weird, but hear me out. Hear me out. Okay, I'm gonna come with my receipts because, like I said, I wrote a lot of this stuff down, and I don't want to grow old alone. I mean, there's so much to unpack just there in your personal, space. Like, what's wrong with you that you don't want to die, alone. I mean, a lot of people are finding that being alone in their older years, they find a great amount of freedom and enjoy it, and it comes with their own sense of peace and tranquility. So, I want someone near me, right? Like the idea of having someone, not necessarily someone who's actually interested, but just the idea of, and then that unfortunately makes this child a tool, for you to soothe, your future emotional discomforts when you're too old or you can't take care of yourself, and I think it's part of us. Well, I think a bigger part of us is that we all want kids, we all want a family, but then there's the 2, 3, 4, 5 steps that go from there. It's having a loving relationship with someone that you trust and want to spend the rest of your life with, having great open communication, because honestly, any relationship, but especially marriage, is about making compromises and just being good communicators. Because if you're not on those 2 pages, you're gonna be going this, and then you're just gonna go right, because you're only gonna be on the same page for so long. So, like I said, it's like an emotional discomfort, the thing that we're trying to fight against. So people, again, to their ego, they want to recreate themselves. They want to have a mini me. They want to have a junior. They want to have, like I said, their own little Michael Goodman. I mean, I am already Howard Goodman's, clone, lookalike, if you will. I'm going to put a picture up right here. Tell me, it, can you tell the difference between us? But yeah, like I said, this is typically mixed up. Sorry, it's ego driven. So the desire to heal and rewrite your own childhood, because again, what I say in the beginning, how many of us have had those times where we, often say, we have a bad childhood experience, and then we yell that, they're never going to have this kind of experience because I'm going to do better than you. I'm going to do better than everybody, right? How many times have we heard this, or have we said this ourselves? I can't remember how many times I said this as a kid. I'm going to do it better, but, and, we also want to prove that we can be good parents too. I mean, it's just in our nature, I guess, also at the same time that, the parents, it's, you know, like I said, this part of it is having like the parents have their own healing arc. It's that's the only thing. It's not the child's existence, but that you want to give them a better life, right? A better thing. Um, Wanting unconditional love. This one's tricky because your kids don't know you anything. They don't. They can choose to love you. They can choose to hate you. They can choose to run away from you. They can choose to romanticize whatever they want to about uh, how they want to treat you, right? Because the sad part is that in our society, children are often romanticized basically about a source of being a source of pure love, right? That the expectation is about receiving emotional fulfillment, right? I mean, it's just tough. Here's the reality that a lot of people are probably dealing with, and that's that the economy and practical motives aren't there. We're just not going to do it. I mean, in many cultures, people have children because it's family business, whether it's a farm or manufacturing, right? It's that unfortunately, you're at that point, it's not good because you're treating the child as an investment rather than a person. And I mean, you can't really develop an investment. You can develop a person, I believe, but and to that point, it's that social conformity kind of overrides our logic, right? It's all about what our parents think, our peers, how they're living. Um, like I said, how many times have we heard, or I know I've heard this and thought about this, that, well, I don't want kids, but everyone else was doing it, right? That's an interesting way. You shouldn't really go about it that way, but I thought I'd regret not having them, right? I mean, like everyone thinks, oh, it's going to be a perfect scenario having kids, and that there's no bad juju or consequences from it. The choices are driven by our social deviation. The part is people are lacking meaning and focus and direction in their life, and they think that children provide an instant sense of purpose. Yeah, I mean, you are bound to take care of this child and make sure they grow up as best you can, but you're trying to get purpose gained through someone else's life, and that's fundamentally for the parent. Life is good, so I should create more of it, right? I mean, I liked the way that sounds when I first heard it, but oh shit, excuse me. But a lot of that is based on your personal worldview, not the unborn person's wishes, right? Again, these people don't consent; they have no willpower, So it's tricky, and parents are more and more wanting to experience milestones in every step. Whether it's the kid having their first step, going to school plays, holiday graduations. I mean, these are parents' fantasies of going to Disneyland, not child necessities. You understand? It's like it's tickets to the theme park, right? And some people want to emulate the image of having the perfect family, and so people create children to fit an aesthetic, identity. Basically, it's the only way you can like frame it into a couchable kind of way of saying it. But think about it; those cozy family holiday photos, they look really bad when I see them. The suburban dream, I mean, it's the mom or the dad title, right? It's all identity. I mean, everybody just wants, to just have this fulfillment that there's like an image-based desire. A lot of time, people think that having children is emotionally rewarding for the parents. Even parents with the purest intention experiences pride, joy, emotional fulfillment, right? I mean, these benefits go to the parent, not the child. So, even I want to give a child a good life, as parents said to me, because at the end of the day, you're showing your desire is that you want the kid to feel like that you did something good. I want to create happiness, right? This motive is still rooted in the parent's emotional reward. So, yeah, pregnancy and childbearing choices always center around the parent's decision. The child has no say in being conceived, what their environment will look like, the socioeconomic conditions, the genetic risks that they hold from their parents. The parent chooses based on what they want and how they feel, unfortunately. So, people who have kids typically they want to pass down beliefs, cultures, and religions. I've heard and seen this a lot, and this is just about a continuation of their worldview, not the economy of the future child. And in every scenario, the desire begins with the parent's wants. I want to have a child. I want to, do good in the world. I want from parental desire base. Again, what I want, which means the root cause makes it always, self-driven because it's at the end of the day what you want. So, and just important context, guys. This is just one philosophical argument about it. Sociological critiques, modern economic pressures, existential philosophy. Right? It doesn't mean that parenting is wrong. It's bad. It's unloving. It just simply outlines the logic behind why some thinkers call this choice selfish at its core. Okay, so I hope you guys like this. If you want me to do a topic into looking at the positives, of having a kid and how it's not selfish, how you're, giving back more, let me know. In the meantime, I hope you guys have a great day, and I'll catch you in the next one.